Hello, 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 everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life through some fun, simple, and quick art projects. Good morning, everyone. So we are heading over to the $1.25 tree. So, in case you haven't seen, this was one of our previous 31 days. I think this one was Saturday. And this was one of our previous 31 days. These are both on the YouTube. You can get the supply lists and you can get today's supply list. But today's supply list is more of like a grab bag thing. I have, and I'm not going to call it a haul because it's really not a haul, but I have multiple surfaces from the $1.25 tree. Yes, this one says autumn, but we're going to make it say Halloween Halloween. Yep. This one as well. And then this I think this is like plaster. It's not ceramic. I think it's plaster, but we're going to get to that. And then I got these really fun rub-on transfers, all from the Dollar Tree, $1.25 each. Okay, so let me turn you guys around and we're going to get started. Here we go. All right, put these aside for now. Oh, and then I have this free printable. This is, I found this on Pinterest. It's a free printable from, let me see if I can find out who. Yep, myhomeofallseasons.com. Free printable. There was a bunch of them. This is the one I liked. We're going to use it on this project. Okay, let me see if I can untie this. I took the label off, and then I used my X-Acto knife. There was a ribbon on this one, but I used my craft X-Acto knife to get that ribbon off. I didn't want to be using an X-Acto knife while I was live, just in case there was a mishap. All right. I'm also trying to take the knot out of these beads here, which I probably should have done off camera as well. Let's see if I can do it. It's one little knot. So when you hop on, let me know where you're watching from. How is it going? Happy Monday. Did you have a good weekend? There we go. All right. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to reuse these. So I'm going to just put these aside for now. Okay. Oh, one of them got away. There it goes. Okay. I have this slanting block. This is a well-worn piece of sandpaper, which is fine for me. And I'm just going to start sanding. I don't want to sand this off. I don't care that this is on here. I just want to rough it up a little bit and give it some tooth for when I paint and apply my Mod Podge. That is it, literally. The same thing with this. So I could say get, like 60 grit, 80 grit, 120 grit. I don't know what grit this is. I've had it. I've been using it. And we're not here to sand it. We're not here to make it smooth. We're not here to get rid of all this paper on here. I could care less that this Mod Podge paper is already on here. It's stuck down pretty well. I am just getting the shiny off so we can do with it what we want. If you wanted to work and get it off, you can. And I just want to make this a little smoother where the ribbon was. Okay? So that is that. I have these 3 projects. We're going to work on them somewhat simultaneously. I'm getting out some black paint on my already messy Halloween palette here. And you know what I want to do? I think I might want to rough this up a little bit too. Just a little bit. Not too much. This is where I'm going to put some of the rub-ons. This is all going to make a really cute set when we're done. And I just want to get the shine off. It's okay that this is rustic. It's okay that it's a little bit worn because, it's Halloween, right? And for Halloween, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's spooky, it's scary, it's worn, it's old, it's grungy, and it is all good. So I'm just applying a coat of white paint to this first surface here from the Dollar Tree. I sometimes get frustrated, and I understand if you get frustrated too. I will see these really cool projects online or on YouTube with Dollar Tree stuff. And honestly, what my Dollar Tree has and what your Dollar Tree has is different. Okay, we all don't have the same stuff at our Dollar Trees. And even if we did, when we go to the $1.25 tree, it could be sold out. So I'm just showing you the possibilities of upcycling some surfaces from the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if you can get these exact surfaces. In the supply list, I put miscellaneous surfaces, and I'm just giving you an idea of what can be done with a few simple supplies, some paint, and a few surfaces from the Dollar Tree. And I'm painting all these surfaces white. I guess now, I wasn't going to go around the edge of my pumpkin, but now I'm going to have to because I slipped. See, and I'm okay with that. It happens, right? If you got my email today, my email came out with SHIT happens because yesterday my video didn't schedule the way it was supposed to for you guys, and I apologize for that. So what was supposed to be an 11, I don't know, or 10 o'clock video yesterday didn't happen till 11 when I went to check and saw it wasn't there. So then I shared it with y'all. All right, I'm just going around the edges. And here's the sticker. $1.25 tree. This would make a cute mantle display or tiered tray. Tiered tray is still popular, you guys? I feel like they are, but I don't think they're as popular as they were. And I'm just painting everything white because I'm going to use this set of rub-ons and they will work better on a white surface. Get under there. I'm not too worried about the divot here where I pulled up the ribbon or the bow because I can just put that bow or a different bow back. So I'm not going to worry about that. And again, I'm just going to go around and paint the sides. So what has been your favorite project so far, you guys? Pop it in the comments. I would be a little, I don't know. The wine glass was my favorite, but then I did the other wine glasses. The wine glass with the florals on it was my favorite at the beginning. I'm doing a fun one tomorrow. I don't know. It would be hard to pick. And we still have, after today, 10 more days. Can you believe it? Although I will say it has gone pretty quickly. I'm just getting around all the edges. I'm probably going to do 2 coats. So we're going to sit this one aside to dry. I don't know if you can see it, but this pumpkin has etched leaves that we may or may not use. For now, I'm just going to paint a white coat and you will be able to see those etchings still. I would imagine this is some kind of plaster. It's definitely not ceramic, although it is fragile. I'm sure if I clanked 2 of them together or dropped it on the ground, it would shatter to a million pieces. And I'm just using the white paint and the same brush for all these surfaces. I'm going to come on the bottom a little bit. I could peel the sticker off, but I'm not going to bother. This one will probably only need 1 coat. And now we're back to this one, which needs 2 coats. I was going to get out my dryer, but I see that I don't need to because this one is already dried. If you have a silhouette or a vinyl cutting machine, you can cut out some vinyl letters. You can use, I think it was date 18s, SVGs, and put something Halloween-y on the front of this. We did ghosts and jack-o'-lanterns and What else? I think I'm going to do this edge too. Ghost, jack-o'-lanterns. Oh, Frankenstein. There were PDFs for you to trace, or SVGs if you have a silhouette or a cricket. I have a silhouette. And I'm just going around the edges, which I may come back and sand anyway, but I don't know yet. So it's just a little paint. It's fine. Okay, so there's that. This one's a little wet. I am going to hit it with my dryer. Oops. Sorry. Okay. It's only going to take a second to dry this. The acrylic paint dries really, really quick. Okay. All right, I need a little bit more white paint. And we're going to put another coat on here. Nice. And then another coat on here. So how was everybody's weekend? I went, me and APHFM went down to the beach and picked an entire bucket of oyster shells. One of the projects this week is going to be a Halloween DIY with oyster shells. And if you don't have a beach, you can buy oyster shells fairly reasonable on Amazon. But since my beach is just a walk away, it's not a beach, like it wouldn't be like, oh, you can go there and hang and it's a beautiful day. No. It's not a beach like that, but it is a beach with shells. And so we went down there yesterday. I'm going to wash my brush now. And we picked an entire like 5-gallon bucket full of oyster shells, which will be most of which I'm going to save for Christmas, but I am going to be doing a project with them this week on 31 Days of Halloween. I think it has come to the time, you guys, that I'm going to have to put a big sign up. I'm going to have to put a big sign right smack in front of my screen that says time lapse, because the last 3 lives I have done, I keep forgetting to set my phone on a time lapse. It is literally right here, you guys. If I could turn my screen right here, I would show you. It's right there. And I don't know why, but I keep forgetting to put it on. So I'm just going to hit these with a dryer, and then we're going to move on to our Mod Podge. I'm going to move my paint away for now. Get out a fresh plate, and we would get to the Mod Podge. So a few supplies: sandpaper, sanding block. I have my Mod Podge and a Mod Podge brush. This is all I use for Mod Podge. I had a few colors of paint here, which we will probably use some of the other colors for the stems and whatnot. We'll see. A craft knife. I have some rub-on decals, and all these supplies right here. Oh, you can't say. All these supplies right here are from the $1.25 tray. So basically $5 worth of supplies right here. Okay. Let's move these two aside. And then I got this printable off of Pinterest, and it is from myhomeofallseasons.com. All right. it's going to fit in here. And I want the October 31st to show. But I'm going to rip it. I don't know what I'm going to do with the edges yet, but I don't want these really harsh edges of my paper. So I'm coming in here and I'm just going to rip the whole thing. I'm going to these edges off so they're not harsh, and cut with scissors. The bottom doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to see the bottom. The bottom's going to tuck in there. I'm not cutting it off because you might see it, but I just want to rip this so I don't have all those harsh edges, and it just gives it a much prettier edge and look to it. Okay, now I need to like line this up, and I'm just going to put a little pencil mark. I don't have a pencil, so I'm just going to grab my stylus. I'm going to put a little mark here and a little mark here, so I know where to put my Mod Podge to. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3 marks. I could do the whole thing with Mod Podge, but why? I'm just going to give it a little shake. Yeah, I put my Mod Podge in this squeeze bottle too. It's so much easier to use. It hasn't gotten clogged up yet either, which is weird. Okay, you put your Mod Podge on the same way you apply paint. Depending on the thickness of your paper, and here I'm using copy paper, so I'm going to put it on a little thicker. If I was using cardstock, I would use a really thick coat. Cardstock or what do you call it? Scrapbook paper, I would use a much thicker coat of Mod Podge. For tissue paper, I would use or napkins, I would use a much thinner coat of Mod Podge. I can't say this one is going to be wrinkle free because it's going to be hard to lay down and get where I need it to and get under there because I'm slipping it into this little pocket. I'm going to get it as centered as possible and lay it down. Now, if there are places where I didn't get my Mod Podge to, I'm just going to lift it up and get it under there. Okay? And now I'm going to get this little squeegee thing I have and go from the center out. Make sure my ends get nice and flat. I can use my brayer part too if I want. This is my brayer for my jelly plate, but it is a multi-purpose tool, and I can use it here as well. Okay. Oops. And then I'm just going to get the Mod Podge, and I'm going to put a coat over it. Ripping the edges gave it a much nicer look than having it squared off. Nice even coat, and there we go. Now I could come in here and paint around, which I might do, but we have to wait for our Mod Podge to dry first. Okay, and I'm going to put that down. Now I'm going to get out, and we're also going to wait. We're going to sand this a little bit too. Let me tuck those down, but we're going to come in and sand those edges a little bit too. Now I'm going to get out my rub-ons. Is this 2 pages or 1? It's 1 page. Okay, what do you want for $1.25? Right? Put that aside. Move this over. Get some scissors. I think I'll put the biggest one down here in the middle. And I'm just going to cut this out. I want to move the ghost, so I'm going to cut the ghost off, but I'm going to use it. All right. Let me get my scraper tool. I'm going to peel this apart. That's garbage. I'm going to line this guy up and put them down. Now you can use this scraper, you can use your nail, you can use a popsicle stick, whatever you want to use. I might get a popsicle stick. There we go. You will know when the rub-on starts to release because the clear sheet on top will begin to get a little cloudy. This might be, actually, oh, you know what? I don't think my paint was dry enough. I was going to say this might be a Dollar Tree fail, but I don't think my paint was dry enough. So let's come over here because it's picking up the paint. I just dropped my ghost. Oh, here it is. Let's come over here and try one on here. Get my scissors. If these rub-ons don't work, we're not calling it a fail. We're calling it a Dollar Tree lesson. How's that sound? So now let's peel this back off. This is garbage again. We're going to put this right here in the middle. And I'm going to start burnishing. So now this is dry. We scruff this up a little bit. And now I'm going to see if this Dollar Tree rub-on will work. It might have been because my paint was still a little damp on that project. Yep, that was it. Paint was damp. Okay, we learned something. I thought it was dry. It was dry to the touch. It was not dry enough for a rub-on. Okay, I'm just going to slowly lift up. You can really use a little bit of muscle with the stick. And I prefer the stick to the scraper. There we go. All righty. Okay, learned our lesson. All right, let's move this one up. Let's move this one up. Let's come back to this because I'm going to show you what we're going to do. That's not going to adhere. Am I going to be able to get it up? Okay, so I'm going to get my brush, get a little white paint, and just go right over that. Voila! Okay, let me get my liner brush. So while we wait for this one to dry, I'm going to get out a little black paint. No, hey Kim, it didn't, my paint was still a little damp. We're doing some Dollar Tree upcycles today, and my paint was still a little damp on these pumpkins. But I did, the Dollar Tree rub-ons work. The $1.25 tree rub-ons work. I'm not going to poo-poo them. These are them, the rub-on transfer decals. And it worked on this hard surface, although I did give it a scuff with sandpaper. These surfaces were not dry enough. So we're just doing some Dollar Tree upcycles today. I have this plaster pumpkin. I had this little mailbox here that originally said, I think it said Happy Autumn or something. And then these 3 pumpkins said Happy Fall, y'all. But since this is a Halloween 31 days, I have to Halloween these guys up. So that's what we're working on. Hello, Capri. And even if you wanted to just use these pumpkins just like this and paint them white with the little black whimsy dots and outline, or if you wanted to paint them black and white, these are cute too. This little envelope and this couple of pumpkins here and my 3D pumpkin make a really cute set for a mantle or a tiered tray, whatever you want to do. Okay. And so I'm going to leave those for now, and we're going to get back to this guy. I'm going to come in here now that my Mod Podge is dry, and I'm going to start outlining these as well so they match. There we go. Okay, so I have these pumpkins. I am still going to attempt to put transfers on them. I have this. This is a free printable. Covered it right over in there. Let me get out these bubbles a little bit without putting my finger in the paint. And now we're going to move on to our pumpkin. So I'm just going to give our pumpkin a few little ribs from top to bottom. I'm going to go around the whole thing. And then I'm going to do the same thing from here. Did I get a little black on there? I think so. This pumpkin has leaves outlined on it, like etched in. I don't think I'm going to paint those. Okay. But look how cute this whole thing is coming right now. Let me wash my brush. This is a beautiful display for a seasonal desk. You are absolutely correct. So let me update my description. You can use this for tiered tray, mantle, or your desk at work. Okay. Let me get out a little bit of purple. A little purple. And I'm just going to get this medium brown brush. And I'm actually going to add the leaves. So I'm just coming in and I'm pulling in these little strokes, following the shape of these maple leaves. It does not have to be perfect. We're going to come back in and we're going to add in some of the stems. I'm using purple because it's Halloween. Okay. And I'm just going to work my way around and all the little bumps and just trace in the etched part of these leaves. Then I'm going to come back in with a little bit of detail. Okay. And while I'm doing this, I'm waiting for my wood to dry on my double pumpkins here, because hopefully then I'll be able to use my rub-ons on those double pumpkins the way I planned. And then one more. Okay. How cute is that, you guys? How cute, so cute. Let me wash my brush. And I'm going to get out some of this lime green. This has been my go-to green for 31 Days of Halloween. Plus, I love how this green looks with the purple and the white and the black. I might have to incorporate some green into here somehow. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. These I'm waiting to dry so I can do my rub-ons. And I'm going to go back to my liner brush. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to twirl my brush between my thumb and my forefinger. And I'm going to add some stems. And then a little bit of the vines. Go on to the next one. Add a stem right up the middle. And then put in the little vines in my leaves. I'm using a very light touch. And none of this has to be perfect. The surfaces were from Dollar Tree to begin with. These are etched in here. If you wanted to like follow them perfectly, you can. I'm not really, because that's just how I roll, you guys. You know, I say this, it's just art, it's just paint, there's no art police, right? Okay. So here's this. What does your tattoo say? Oh, this tattoo says Pura Vida, Puravida. My daughter lives in Costa Rica, and it's a bit of a Costa Rica saying. It means, exactly translated, it means pure life. In Costa Rica, it means many different things. Mostly, life is good. That's great. It could mean hello. It could actually sometimes, if you say, if it's raining too much and you're like, oh, I'm so tired of the rain, and someone says Pura Vida, it's just a term of agreement sometimes. A term of hello, a term of life is good, a term of slow down, a bunch of things. Ah! That's why. Okay. Mm. So, you saw, I just put my hand in there. I'm going to get a little white paint. I'm just going to paint over it. It's just paint, right? Okay. Now I'm going to use the back of my brush. I'm also going to add some of these purple dots. When I do these dots, I like to put them in clusters of 3. Somebody showed me how to do these a while ago, and I just love them. And now I realize how I'm going to bring in the purple and the green on that other one, the envelope. Okay, so here's our pumpkin. Positive vibe, yes, and that's funny. Positive vibe, PV, positive vibe. So I'm just going to add in some purple and green dots to this while I make this entire set here cohesive. I think I'm going to do one more purple one here. Okay. So we have our October 31st envelope, and this is the rub-on from the Dollar Tree. Then I did my pumpkin. I have to be very careful with my pumpkin because it's still a little wet. Here's our pumpkin with the purple leaves. And then we're going to go back to trying the rub-ons for this guy. All right, I'm going to start with this little ghost just to see if it works first. I'm going to put him up here. I'm going to grab my stick, and I'm going to start to rub. If he doesn't work, we're going to probably end up painting something on here. But I think he's working now. Yep, there we go. So that was it. It just needs to be a little bit more dry. And get my scissors. Guess we'll use this one now. Oh, you know what? We'll use a couple of them. 1, 2. There we go. And we'll get another ghost. Our 2 headstones both have a ghost. Okay? So we have to do them one at a time. So place that there. Get my popsicle stick. I'm going to start to rub it in. Like I said, I don't know what surfaces you can get at your Dollar Tree. They do not have to be exact. It never has to be exact. I got this surface, and this surface, plus these rub-ons, you know, $1.25 tree for $5. And just have fun. It's the simplest way to get a few supplies to do some crafting. And there are so many tutorials on the YouTube and the Pinterest. I'm doing little by little as I go. It's working mostly. It's not working great, but in a way that's okay because it's Halloween and it's a cemetery and it could look a little grungy, right? Put that one there. And start rubbing it on. These transfers do sometimes take a little bit of elbow grease, but not enough that it's going to be an issue. Sometimes it's easier to start lifting it up to get it going. Then you know where it stuck and where it didn't stick. And another one of these. And another one of these guys. I will say I've gotten rub-on transfers from other places besides the $1.25 tree, and they work much better. Especially the ones you've seen me talking about, essential stencils, and rub-ons. I'm going to be doing a project with them this week, and they're awesome. All right, let me get my brush again. I'm going to fix this a little bit. Fix this a little bit. Fix this a little bit. Okay. And then, what about a spider web? I'm going to cut out a spider web. And I'm going to put the spider web up here in the corner. If you don't have a nail to get this up, you can use scissors or your craft knife or whatever. Oh, my star didn't stick. So we're going to put it up here. See if it'll stick up here. Oh, I know why my star didn't stick. My star didn't stick because I was trying to put it where the wet paint was, where I covered up that black dot. And it didn't cover up now because I put my star on it. There we go. So, oh, you know what? I wonder, should we add some purple in here somewhere? There's greens. There's greens in this. Nope, it's greens from my paint. So should we add? There are purple in the there's purple in the boo and there's purple in the feathers. So I'm wondering, since I have purple here and purple here. Oh, really? That's a great idea. That's a really good idea. And I'm nice to everyone, so I'm sure I could get a load in my car. You know, what do they say? You get more flies with honey, right? I'm fixing my rings. They're all twisted up. Anyway, I want to incorporate the purple and the green into this one somehow. I'm just going to add in a little bit. I like the idea of this one being less is more. So I'm just going to come in here with some purple outline. Just to make these guys more cohesive. There we go. So there we have it. This is our Dollar Tree Upcycle. If you catch the replay or you go back, I also took pictures of the before, and now this is the after. Let me turn you guys around. Thank you for watching.